as the war between Israel and Hamas continues. Civilians are paying a heavy price on both sides. Tel Aviv is exacting revenge for the armed group's attack on the country by bombarding the besieged Gaza Strip, imposing a total blockade on food and fuel supply to the enclave and threatening with a ground offensive. The Palestinian armed group Hamas in turn is warning Israel to stop the siege on Gaza, otherwise it will kill the Israelis and other civilians taken hostage by the group. Amid all the threats and warnings, peace negotiations seem absent from the political discourse. Can a truce be brokered between Israel and Hamas? Who can play peacemaker between the two warring parties? While the list of potential peace brokers between Israel and Hamas is long, here are some names that can do the job. Egypt has been in close contact with Israel and Hamas to try to prevent further escalation in fighting between them and ensure the protection of Israelis taken hostage by the Palestinian fighters, as per a Reuters report citing two Egyptian sources. Cairo has acted as a mediator between Israel and Palestinian groups in previous conflicts as well, but analysts are of the opinion that this time it may try to distance itself from the escalating situation in Gaza, with elections around the corner. The Arab League's foreign ministers met on October 11 in an emergency summit amid the tension in Israel and Gaza. The extraordinary session was requested by the Palestinian delegation, as per the League statement, to discuss Arab efforts to stop the Israeli aggression on Gaza. The outcome of the meeting is not yet clear, but the League did call for the end of Israeli occupation and the creation of an independent Palestinian state.
وأقول باختصار: هناك طريق يوفر حياة كل المدنيين. إنه المسار الوحيد العقلاني الذي يصون الحياة والأمن والمستقبل لأبناء الشعبين. إنهاء الاحتلال وإقامة الدولة الفلسطينية المستقلة على حدود 67 وعاصمتها القدس الشرقية.
The Arab League already largely holds credence for Palestinians, given its support for their cause. The League can also bring Israel to the negotiation table, given how Tel Aviv is trying to make amends with the Arab nations through the United States, including Saudi Arabia, which is an important member of the 22-member group. However, experts such as Professor Majoub Zouairi, who is the director of the Gulf Studies Center at Qatar University, told Al Jazeera that the Arab League has no role to play. He said, "It's a reflection of the fragmented Arab governments. It has no tools." China has expressed deep concern over the escalation of conflict and called for a ceasefire and calm. Beijing's special envoy on Middle East issues, Jai Jun, is expected to have a telephone conversation with Israeli officials on October 12, as per Bloomberg News. Observers wonder if China will try to promote itself as a regional peacemaker amid the Israel-Hamas war, especially after it successfully brokered a rapprochement between arch-rivals Iran and Saudi Arabia. In April this year, Beijing's then foreign minister, Qin Gang, told the Israeli and Palestinian foreign ministers that China was ready to facilitate efforts towards peace talks. China supports a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, based on pre-1967 borders and with East Jerusalem as the capital of a sovereign Palestinian state. It has also advocated for international development assistance for Palestinians. Beijing did not establish normal diplomatic relations with Israel until 1992, but since then, the two nations have developed increasingly close economic, military, and technological links with each other. Amicable ties with Israel and Palestine gives China a leverage in terms of negotiations, but Beijing has so far not expressed any desire to mediate peace. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has offered to mediate in the Hamas-Israel conflict while criticizing the U.S. for sending warships to the Mediterranean Sea.
Amerika'nın uçak gemisinin İsrail'de ne işi var? Ne yapmaya geliyor? Ve buraya gelen uçak gemisinin etrafında bütün botlarıyla, uçak gemisindeki uçaklarıyla ne yapacak? Orada bütün artık Gazze'yi, etrafını vurarak, indirerek çok ciddi katliamlara adım atacak. Acaba nasıl arabuluculuk yaparız? Nasıl acaba bu savaşı durdururuz? Bunun gayreti içerisindeyiz. Temennimiz o ki bir an önce bu savaşı durduralım ve bölge sükunete, suhulete yeniden kavuşsun.
Turkey, which backed Palestinians in the past and hosted members of Hamas, had been working to mend ties with Israel after years of animosity before the latest violence. Qatari mediators have held urgent calls to try to negotiate freedom for Israeli women and children seized by the armed group and held in Gaza in exchange for the release of 36 Palestinian women and children from Israel's prisons, a source briefed on the talks told Reuters. But there are no signs of breakthroughs, yet as both sides dig in. Qatar has a direct line of communication with Hamas, and Qatari envoys have previously helped mediate truces between the Islamist group and Israel. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said creating a Palestinian state was the most reliable solution for peace in Israel and that fighting alone would not ensure security. Russia condemned violence against both Jews and Palestinians in Israel and the Palestinian territories on October 9 and expressed interest in contributing to peace.
Ну почему нет? У нас очень устойчивые деловые отношения с Израилем. У нас дружеские отношения с Палестиной на протяжении десятилетий. Это наши друзья знают об этом. И Россия, на мой взгляд, тоже могла бы внести свою лепту, свой вклад в этот процесс урегулирования.
Russia, which has relationships with Arab countries, Iran and Hamas as well as with Israel, said the West had ignored the need for an independent Palestinian state within 1967 borders. As part of earlier mediation efforts, weeks before the October 7 attack, the UN was engaged in diplomacy to try to prevent new armed confrontations between Israel and Hamas. UN Middle East peace envoy Tor Wensland met Hamas officials in Gaza and posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, that the United Nations is talking to and working with all concerned to improve the lives of people in Gaza, particularly the most vulnerable. The most important quality in a mediator when it comes to the current conflict is having open lines of communication with, and trust of both Hamas and Israel in order to be able to initiate peace. And most US-led Western nations might not be able to gain the confidence of the Palestinian armed group given their ironclad support for Tel Aviv.